friends. Who wants to make money with the Morpheus? If anybody's joining and watching this video for the first time, just know that you and I have had 100% success rate with all of the macro statistics for this month. I want to say that chats are open right now. You're able to ask me any kind of question about the fundamental or technical analysis, just like my boy Henry right there in the house, usually not missing. I think Henry didn't miss one stream. One of these events, and of course he's the one that also takes advantages of chatting to me in Telegram, and my boy Donald's in the house today, which is excellent. Love you guys. Thank you for showing me your support. Anybody can ask any kind of questions right now pertaining to the topic would be better, but also about anything really in terms of financial independence. We got people all over the world. I've talked to about 4,000 people. I've taught about 4,000 people over the course of 12 years while working for some brokers and on my own as well doing this thing right now. So you are very much welcome to reach out without any kind of obligations, without any kind of goofy situation or negativity at all. You and I are able to discuss things that would pertain to you specifically. So today, my dear friends, we are going to again try to take advantage of a macro statistic. All right, so we got this week's sorted here. It looks like yesterday. Yesterday we took advantage of the PPI, Producer Price Index, right? If we click on any economic calendar, you'll see Producer Price Index. So basically it measures the prices markup, right, from the producer side, right, which is kind of interesting. We have a CPI, Consumer Price Index, how consumers, you and I, affect the price index, all right? The more we buy, the higher the inflation will be. Essentially, the economy is expanding, and it leads to inflation. High inflation leads to the central bank raising interest rates, and where on the inside of the country that will constrict the economy on an international interest. It will make others invest into that currency, strengthening that economy based on supply and demand principles. So we see the core retail sales is going to be in about 7 minutes and 20 seconds from now. And as I mentioned, CPI, something that consumers impact the price of goods and services. PPI, it's producer pricing, is those who are producing the service or good. They also will mark up their services or goods based on the demand that they receive. And obviously the kind of like the middle ground is the retail sales, right? So producers produce, let's say a shirt for like $5, but if there's a demand for 500,000, but if all of a sudden they see a demand for like 750,000, they might raise the prices a little bit to $5.50. When it comes to retail stores also don't do it for the good of their heart. They're selling to make money, so they also put a markup on this, right? So that's why you want to buy from the producer directly, because it's usually going to be cheaper. So anyways, retail sales, this is the third most really kind of like impactful part, event, macro from United States. But I've seen, historically speaking, me personally, I've noticed that there was no, sometimes there's no movement in the market. So you and I are going to have, the first bullet locked and loaded. And we are going to take advantage. We're going to see if there is a spike. Notice there's absolutely no need for any kind of indicators. All right. But, we can actually just kind of put it up, when we, some of the things that we usually do. Right. Like SHAF and MACD is something that I, particularly like. What else? We could have CCI as well, but, wait a second. Recently, no, not CCI. Recently, you and I are getting familiar with the ADX and the ATR. Remember, these indicators, they show kind of like the inertia of the movement, right? So right now, euro dollar, we got essentially kind of it's a USD macro, and yeah, euro dollar has got the biggest payout. And that's why we got everything set. So in less than 5 minutes, we are going to see a possible reaction. Right now, we got a possible sell point. All right, we got the volatility dropping. We got the ADX, pointing down, the lowering from 22%. So I wouldn't really expect there to be even if there is a bit of a downward movement, we got parabolic, we got fractal, everything says that the next candle or two should be red. But I wouldn't really expect it, not really expect it. I wouldn't expect a long move just based on the fact that the ADX and the ATR are kind of like on a lowering side. There it is. So as I said, but if we actually also take a look at the size of this candle, it's not even a pip, right? It's just a few pipettes. And that's why we're gonna hang back a little bit. We're gonna once again in about 4 minutes as of now, there should be a big, a relatively decent enough reason where lots and lots of people are going to look to this statistic as a motivation to buy. And when millions of people buy, they affect the supply and demand principles, and the asset, for example, goes up. As soon as these guys make profit, they're going to close the position. How does this really work? This is something that's going to be done in Forex. We pocket option traders, we don't impact the real market at all. We are not in the business actually buying euro against dollar or selling euro against dollar. What we do, it's called the CFD. It's a contract for difference in price. You make a contract with pocket option saying that, hey, I'm going to get this much money if I say that it's going to be lower in a particular amount of time. By the way, let's change it to a timer. And if that's the case, you get that pre-agreed upon price, right? The payout. And it's not really that when you're even in the real market, when you're trading real market, you're trading real market quotes, but you're not actually buying euro against the dollar. It's a CFD. It's a contract for difference. And there's certain benefits to this as well, because if there is like a pipette in your favor, you get 80 freaking percent, 80 plus percent, profitability. Super awesome. But it doesn't matter whether it's like 100 pips or a pipette, you still get 80%. But if it is 100 pips, in a real market in Forex with a standard lot, you're looking at like $1,000 with the one standard lot with euro dollar, because in standard lot, in euro dollar, each pip is valued approximately $10. So if you got 100 pips, $100 times 10, essentially $1,000. Big banks that have the access to this information, investment banks or maybe some super rich people, they get this information like literally half a second before everybody else. And that's usually good enough for their computers to open 100 lots, and this $400 becomes 40,000, right? Or $1,000 becomes 100,000, right? Within a matter of a couple of seconds. So, anyways, this is something that you and I can discuss in greater detail, because right now I feel like I'm being, I don't want to miss this. There it is. It's less than a minute and 30 seconds. So this candle is going to be over, and on the next end of the next, wait, at the end of the next candle, there should be that impulse, up or down. This is not going to be like the NFP where we're expecting like 40 to 60 pips. It's not going to be like CPI where we expect like 20, 30 pip movement. This is probably, at best, is going to be like 10 to 20, I would say. But there we go. Less than a minute now, right? There we go. In 52 seconds from now. There we go. 50 seconds, 49. We can do a little countdown. So what are we expecting? We're expecting a bigger candle, maybe, size like, from here. So 70, let's round it up to like 8, right? 15, 8. And I would say like somewhere here, 15, 7, maybe like a 10 pip movement, really. So yeah, 10 pip movement, that's why we're not going to do pending trades. Because if we set up 4 pip difference between, it's going to be like somewhere here and then here. And if the movement is going to go whoosh up to this point, but then retrace about 50%, we're going to lose it. All right, so there we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do we have anything? There we, and yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that I would even want to open. All right, let's open 100 for now. All right, let me take a 200. No, but honestly, oh, there we go, there we go. All right, wait, wait, wait. We could even go for the 600. Hold on. Yeah, I'll go here. All right, and let's wait. All right, remember the fourth step martingale is actually for me. In this case, is going to be very aggressive. It's going to be 2K. Let's see, pending. All right, so it is good. It is good, right? We got a negative when the forecast was positive, came out higher. All right, this is actually a very good statistic, which makes me think that there should be a bigger move than what we've had here. And yep, wait a second. All right, so we just need to wait. All right, so wow. All right, so let's open a whole bunch. All right, this was like a not very smart thing to do, because well, we needed to be a little bit more reserved, right? So it kind of started slow. It's something that really should be a little bit quicker. Usually, it is a bit quicker. And man, today we're gonna make like some serious cash, really. All right, so there we go. We're closing out and a lot of a big profitability if it continues to go, if it continues to go down. So a spike happened, way too, kind of unsure for my particular liking. All right, so but there it is. Yeah, we're cashing out. We're making money. Um, there we go. Yeah. And you and I are gonna make like freaking killing today, man. I'm happy as hell because that's it. I can be done for a week. All right, who made money? Money, 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 money. There we go. We've done this. All right, so all right. Somebody's spamming us on Twitch. Hold on. Let me get my people on this. All right, one moment. I got a whole bunch of pings from Telegram. One moment ago. Hey, there we go. We already got that. All right. Anyways, my guys took care of it, and I love my team. Our team's here to make sure that you guys have every freaking advantage, right? And actually, wait a second. All right, on my Telegram. Okay, finally, we getting some activity, right? We're building our community. And yeah, some people just made some money on on Telegram. They just wrote to me as exactly what we were discussing ahead of time. All right, so you and I today made a freaking fortune. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a fan-freaking-tastic day. All right, let's take a look. Actually, yeah, I was explaining something here with to somebody about yesterday's activity. I think it was yesterday's the CPI for Britain for British at 9 a.m. But it seems like it was a good signal. We took a position. We won, or rather, we lost the first one. We won the second one, right? So I'm still in profit here. And just like I usually say, right? Today we had a really unusual kind of behavior. So it kind of spiked in, it kind of retraced, and then like in these little bursts, it went to this point right here. Let's actually calculate the entry. Let's say that the entry price was here, 1577 and 1556. So it was like 19 pips, right? Exactly what I said. We didn't really expect something huge, right? 19 pips. And actually, I would say that 19 pips because the statistics actually really freaking good. If it was just slightly lower, right? If this came out instead of 0.3, from negative 0.3, they were expecting, essentially a 200% growth. And it came out exactly like 0.4, this good statistic. Here, negative 0.9, once again, 100% growth. It came out, really good. If this came out also like a 0.2, overall would have been good statistic, but I would say that this would be exactly like I said, about 10 to 15 pips instead of 20, or 19 in our case. So, but there it is. There was a spike. There is a retracement. Why we're doing it at a timer? Because it could actually, retracement could go into the following minute, right? So, and by the way, if we would have opened, actually, it opened with a gap. Remember, it kind of went and then retraced and then continued to go down in bursts. So, what can this mean? It means that This information is not something that gets to everybody at the same time. The world is not just. It's not, right? That the rich get this information a bit faster. So they got this information, there was a bit of a spike, and they realized that everybody else is jumping on board. Their computers are immediately buying more, right? Opening more positions based on the amount of interest that keeps pouring in. And that's why we saw a little bit of a movement, but then a bit higher, a little more, because more money was pumped into this situation with what kind of statistics were pouring in. Right? So that's why I keep saying open with a first to third, maybe maximum step martingale, and then wait a little bit. We saw that the statistic was good. We understand out of that that the movement could continue a little bit longer. And when there is a retracement, right, when it happens, when it closed, we could have opened the retracement till the end of the minute, and here it was, that case where you would have made money on the second candle. So technically what I did today was a bit of gambling, from my understanding. I understood that there should be a retracement. That's right, Kryptonaut, my dear man. You hit up three, my dear boy. See, that's what I love about it. Kryptonaut reached out to me in Telegram. We talked about this upcoming statistic. We did mention that, you know what, there were moments when the market did not react at all, so you should load a bullet. Not a big one, because this is not that statistic. CPI, no matter what country, GBP, Canada, United States, Australia, depending on where you are in the world, maybe you should take advantage of some of those. Those are the ones that could take, you open a position for like $100. My balance is able to sustain something like I did today, which was not something that I encourage. I encourage more strict follow of money management, right? So if you didn't, if I screwed up today, I would have been out of a lot of money. I mean, I would have been out of, we got 900, so let's round it up to 1,000. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9K. With my balance that was 33,000, that's a big hit. I know that I can get it back if I can just send my wife away, kids to somewhere else, to a friend's house, and I can trade a little bit quietly by myself. I can get that money back. But it would still take some time, a long time. Maybe it would take like a week and a half, 2 weeks of semi-aggressive trading in a very, very ideal kind of environment, right? But, because I've been exposed to these kind of events for a long time, I kind of, once again, I hate to say this, you should never use intuition. But you should use logic, cool-headedness, statistics, math, logic, these kind of things, not gut feelings. All right, but once again, my balance is something that could have supported this. That's why we did open. I opened $2,000, where I should have opened 1,800 here, but it kept going down. So I understood that I needed to open essentially after 2K, and so 6,000, right? So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Which was very, very aggressive. I understood that a retracement is going to happen. No matter if the statistic was, statistic was good, and that's why it kept pushing this further and further. But statistically, theoretically speaking, this is not something that can go without a retracement. So, in the freaking money. All right. So this weekend I'm going to take my kids to go fishing to a very nice kind of paid for spot, but we're gonna have a good time today. Take my 4x4 into the mountains. All right, and yeah, we got like a buy signal right now from technical analysis perspective, right? We got MACD crossing, we got very nice volatility. The candles are quite big in comparison to the previous chump change. But remember that. And actually, that's kind of interesting thing. Look, it took like 1 minute to spike down to this big, retrace, big, drop in euro dollar, or big gain in the dollar. But it took like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes to get back to pretty much the previous time where it started from. I would say that that's it. This is no longer something that's affecting the real market. Now people are going to be doing, buying and selling based on different things other than this particular macro. Now, here's the thing. As I mentioned, biggest economy in the world, United States, and this is where lots of money is invested, lots of money is kind of going through, and this is why we do want to keep an eye out. Retail sales for Britain, nah, I wouldn't trade it. But once again, not, don't really do what I say. This is just my personal opinion. I wouldn't really even load the bullet to take a shot at this retracement because, again, what does British, put out, on the global level? If you look at the size of the economy, you look at the size of the population, so the retail stores within Britain could somehow be affecting the price of goods and service. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't seem logical to me. All right. Kryptonaut just said, yeah, I did a buy off on the technical analysis successfully. Yeah, we've kind of said, but once again, remember we've talked about the volatility being high, so the candle size would have been decent, but we're looking at a decline in ADX, which means that this is not a trending move, right? So we were expecting maybe a few green candles maybe afterwards, but not something long term that would continue to go upwards. That is something that I would reserve for unexpected news. See, this is something that we knew is going to happen, right? You and I knew about it. I told you about it yesterday. I said exactly the second. I talked to you about yesterday's PPI, the day before, and so on. We covered these things ahead of time, so please subscribe, like the channel, like the video, subscribe, and more importantly, reach out, talk to me. I'll actually send you some good, helpful material. We can talk one-on-one about how to incorporate this into your financial independence goals, right? Into your investments. We're not really traders. You and I are more like investors. We're not really focused on big money now. We're more focused on stable results over the course of a month. Last month I showed you the statistics. We've made about 4,000. And this is a side income, guys, right? This is never, I don't think that this is ever something that's going to replace traditional investing. I got real estate all over the world. I'm actually selling one of my apartments right now so that I can invest into building 2 houses. So it's a group thing. It's with family and friends. We're investing and we're going to build 2 houses after we sell them. We're going to make more money than, is steady. Money is something that's not subject to any kind of risk in, medium term, in a couple of months, in like half a year. So more than I can make in banks or in stocks. Right, so this is where, something that I also talk about very passionately about. This is a fantastic freaking instrument to get you ahead in real estate, in stock market, in bonds, in savings account, because it gives you that ability to whoosh, to take 1,000, turn it into 10. Withdraw 5K, leave 5,000. 5,000 turns into like 20 plus. That's it. Second month, you're good to go. You're going to be doing something significantly better. Don't leave money in here. Take it out. Pocket option will pay you out your money. This is why we're doing business here. They're a fantastic company. They give you crazy flexibility with something that I very much appreciate, flexibility with expirations. Yeah, so your goals should be something realistic, right? To open the position here, first position with $1,000 with the macro, the next one with 2, next one with 6. That's crazy. Imagine what you can do with $10,000 in terms of securing your future, right? Making a down payment on an apartment, or depending on some parts of the world, you can actually buy that freaking apartment, right? Making investment into a long-term happy future, but here you can lose it in 3 freaking positions. So if you have $100,000 balance, I could tell you that you're not going to use the whole margin of this amount of money. You should be, kind of looking at still shortening that range between using maybe maybe 1,000, 2,000 as a max. Which means if you got $100,000, $95,000 is just sitting there not doing anything for you. This is why I say withdraw it and invest into few apartments, invest into a hotel room. In certain countries, you're able to buy a hotel room, and the hotel will rent it, will keep, maintain it, will, all of this thing, and you just get profit every single month from, the rental of that particular place. So yeah, learning what to ask from this instrument is super important. This is once again something that I do sell. Actually, I sell a course where you train with me one-on-one, and we go into the intricacies of everything. Right now, we're keeping everything very general. So if anybody joins the stream, you kind of should be able to relate to most of the things that we discussed. And yeah, so what the hell did we make today anyway? We made, I'm not going to count this. So out of this 528, we need to withdraw 300, right? So let's say $200 here. So we got, essentially 1,000, 2,600, round it up to, like, let's say 2,800. Once again, 3,000, 4,000. We made some good money today. I'm so happy that we did that. All right, now let's take a look. When the hell is the next something interesting happening? Today we had retail sales. We got absolutely nothing happening tomorrow. So tomorrow, you and I, my dear friends, we're going to be talking about, once again, we're going to do technical analysis with focus on one of the indicators. And I think that we did do Bollinger Bands. Tomorrow, CCI. I love CCI. You guys are going to enjoy this as well. So make sure to join us tomorrow. Technical analysis is going to continue right now as well. But before we hop into what we already have been doing for the entire, cumulative videos right now, let's see. We've got, all right, so tomorrow, starting next week, Sunday, you got nothing. Actually, upper houses elections. I don't even know what that is, but once again, in JPY, this is actually important. Remember that the safest currency pair, the least volatile of all currency pairs, is JPY. Why? Because on the government level, it's not allowed to show such huge volatility. Because of that, it's actually considered a safe haven asset. When the hit the fan, the most of the rich people, banks and everything, they'll move their money. They don't withdraw their money and stuff it in a mattress. They move it. They move it somewhere where it seems safer. What are the safe haven assets? We got gold, we got oil, we got Bitcoin as a safe haven asset, and well, JPY is actually one of the assets that people, the money will move to when all of the currencies are dropping. JPY will be dropping as well, but with a parachute. So it is something that we could keep in mind as well. Yeah, I wouldn't put anything, even though this is important for Japanese economy. This is not something that's going to reflect, first of all, on the market because Sunday. Wait a second. So this is Sunday, but if I turn the time zone, if we change the time zone, American, Hawaii, Alaska, I wouldn't even know where to go in terms of Japan. Fiji, Kamchatka, alright. Nuku Alofa. Man, see, I don't even know where, which time zone Japan is, but it could be on Monday, just really early for me, right? But it's still an active session for Japan. All right, so there we go. All right, so it is important for their economy, but I wouldn't really expect any volatility from that. So actually, I would remove Japan out of JPY, out of all of the statistics in the filters. All right, so Monday, New Zealand. God damn, it's super early for me, or very late. I wouldn't even know how to classify this. But CPI, yep, definitely something that should be moving the market. If you guys are in the zone with, in time zone where this is, this is a little more appropriate for, for being awake, you could take advantage of that. CPI is something that's very, impactful usually. All right. So Tuesday we got Federal Chair Powell. So Jerome Powell, he's the head of the FOMC committee. And so he's the guy, that most important guy in the United States central bank, that determines if the interest rates are going to be raised, lowered, or kept the same. So he's going to make a speech. During this time, you are able to click on, source, Federal Reserve, or you can go to YouTube and type in Jerome Powell's speech, Tuesday 22nd, and maybe you'll be able to actually watch it live. It would be actually very interesting for you to put this live and listen to how he speaks, and then watch the graph to see how the charts are reacting. So in the future, when this person starts to discuss the economical situation, the growth, the stagnation, the constriction, maybe this is something that you would be able to hop in, because this is something that could move the market not only for a couple of minutes, but for hours, if not longer. All right. So once again, even on pocket option, we are able to set a timer, a notification. I'm sorry, not timer, a notification right there. If the asset reaches this point, you go in the settings. You can actually link this to your phone. And if the asset reaches a particular level, you could, be notified and take advantage of the situation, even if you're like dozing or sleeping or doing something. So he's the most important person for Europe. It's Christina Lagarde. For Canada, or Governor Bailey for, I think, for Britain. Not really sure who's doing that for Canada, but Canadian Central Bank representative, also something that you would be able to kind of expect a movement. Um, yeah, there we go. Royal Bank of Australia, Bullock is going to be making a speech. So, yeah, these guys could definitely be moving the market for hours. This is not planned, and majority of the information that they're going to put out is subjective, right? So Jerome Powell could say, oh, well, inflation seems to be good. We could consider raising interest rates, and theoretically that's fantastic news. If he said, oh my god, inflation's being great right now, we're monitoring some really good statistics, we're going to be raising interest rates in a year, right? So which one of these things sounded better, right? So it's subjective, right? So the whining, the dovish tone, the dovish tone is not really something that pushes people to, be confident enough, even if the news is good. But even if he says something with, like in a month or two, raising interest rates, or hey, we're definitely going to be raising interest rates in a year. Ah, you know, hawkish tone. That's what it is. That's what it's called, hawkish tone. And essentially, this is where it might push people to buy. Right now, already, there should be a positive reaction. There's going to be something that moves up for a while. If if during this time somebody in Asia is sleeping and they get a notification that the price of the dollar reached a particular level, they might wake their ass up and take a look and be like, oh, wow, that's actually fantastic news. I'm going to buy. And that's why this is going to, could push the market up for hours, if not even maybe a couple of days. So this is why it's important to keep an eye out on the central bank representatives. Yes, next Thursday, baby, we're going to have the manufacturing and services PMIs. All right, what is a PMI? It's a purchasing managers index within a producer, within a factory that produces stuff. They also have purchasing managers, right? Somebody that orders raw materials to produce the goods and services, right? So this is something that also, is impactful enough on the economy. This is also something that gauges, economic health. Well, this is something that kind of, maybe parallel implies inflation aspects as well, right? So this is really cool. All right, and so this is, yeah, we're actually going to be trading. You and I, we're going to start at 10:05 on Thursday. We're going to take advantage of the French. This is second largest economy in Eurozone. Then we're going to go take advantage of 15 minutes later of German, same statistic, manufacturing services PMIs. We're gonna, we're gonna finish off this particular day with the German, British GBP, manufacturing services PMIs. There is at like 12 o'clock. There's European, but it's marked as medium impact event, right? Am I right? Thursday. There it is. Yeah. So at 11 o'clock. Yeah, at 11 o'clock, manufacturing services for the entire Eurozone. But remember, Eurozone is, consists of many countries. Some of them are not really doing so good. They're barely on the brink of bankruptcy. Um, not to insult anybody, I think that just, Greece has been not really doing good for a very long time. Not really producing a lot of things on the global market, I believe. Something about olives or something. Um, Anyways, so just kind of worth keeping in mind that where Germany and France and Germany are the biggest economies, they are the most weighty because they're, singular. They're the biggest economies in Eurozone. That's why they should move the euro noticeably enough, but not something where we're going to be opening pending trades with like, they're probably like 15, maybe I think that, 15 would be the top range of the spike, the impulse, after which there is a retracement. Probably I would say like 95% would be in the first minute. Unless the statistic is shockingly good or horrible, I'm not expecting higher than 15 pip movement. 15, 17, maybe somewhere around there. But it still should be good enough for us to make money on, 15 minutes apart. So hell yeah. Euro at 11 o'clock, the entire, I'm going to skip this, though we could take a look and notice, once again, if the statistic is going to be shockingly good or bad, it could move the market. Britain, who knows, things about Britain. I've been saying about this for a while. Britain is considered by most investors as the most volatile of all of the currencies. So even though it's not a big, kind of like a global player, it is volatile enough to, kind of move the market noticeably. And you're more than welcome to take advantage of the American, the USD, manufacturing services PMIs. Also, this is, something that could move the market, but keep in mind that this is like an hour difference where from ECB, European Central Bank President, or representative of the central bank will be answering press questions. This is kind of interesting. When you hear a word statement, this is not something that's random. Very carefully chosen words, very thought out idea, and usually something that is done in advance. In a press conference, I don't know, a news reporter could be pissing off the central bank representative, would ask very aggressive questions, and that might lead to an unplanned for answer that would not really paint a good picture, or the other way around. Maybe somebody would blur out something ahead of time and cause a particular movement for a long time. So press conference is something that's better than just a speech from the central bank, the head of central bank, right? So this is something that we need to kind of keep an eye out. So yeah, Thursday there's like crapload of good reasons to take a look at the market, and this is where I keep telling you guys that if you don't have time, if you're just like working, we got family, we got whatever, this is something that's going to take a few minutes, right? Literally, you can go to the you can go to the bathroom, and while you're doing one one thing, you got a phone out, and you just open the position for a retracement, and you're good to go. By the time you finish your leak, you're a couple of $100 or perhaps whatever, a couple of dollars, good percentage in profit. Alright, so this is why this is so interesting. No technical analysis, no nothing. You know why this is going to create an impulse, because lots of people know about this ahead of time. They're going to look at the statistic, they're going to be, finding that this is a good time to buy. If they buy or open positions, they're buying. So the impulse will happen. When they make money, they're going to close the position, which is considered a sell. There's going to be a retracement. Retracement always happens. Right? We just don't know if it's going to be in the first minute, in the second, or very, very rare in the third. So, but by the time we open 2, 3 positions martingale, the information is, updated, and we can see, right? 15 seconds or 20 seconds later, we can see, oh my God, that's a horrible or wonderful statistic. The market should be going a little bit further because people are finally getting this information. They're jumping on board of buying or selling, increasing the impulse, but at a certain point, it's still going to retrace, right? Because people are going to be cashing out their profits. So that's the ultimate thing that I'm trying to get across to you guys, right? So lock in, kind of click on pocket option link below. By the way, you can get some really, really good advantages with me and my team, even to the point where we can ensure your trading against negative outcome. Right, something that you and I can do, kind of can discuss one-on-one because it is going to be, individualized for every person. And reach out in Telegram channel. Ask your questions. If you're watching this video later, make a comment. I usually go in there. So far, nobody's really asking. This is actually the very, depressing thing that when somebody's telling you how to make money, it gets less views than a round booty and a pretty face. All right, so but you need money to to get that kind of lifestyle, get that booty in your life. All right, so let's do what we usually do, right? All right, so we're done with this. Market is going to be doing its own thing. It's no longer reliant on the inertia of this statistic. I would say that as of this moment right here, it kind of did the maybe a support resistance levels that were established. Maybe there was a movement, it kind of breached, but it's going to be doing its own thing now. We had a sell signal right here from parabolic, right? First parabolic on this candle for sell. We had then on this candle, we had sell from MACD, crossed everything. And on the third candle, right? Probably on the third, end of the second on the third, we had a sell signal from shaft. But as we can see, it's kind of like straddling this particular level. What can help us understand if that was a good time to open the position? Look at ADX. Absolutely no direction, right? No preference, which means it's not really gaining momentum. So whoever took positions here, everything petered out. There's probably no volatility has dropped. And I would say that's it. We're done with euro dollar real market for the day. All right. So once again, just if anybody's kind of joining us on this video, on this stream, difference between OTC and real market, euro dollar OTC, euro dollar real market, is that here we do have the fundamental spikes or the fundamental impact, the reasons why hundreds of millions of people would jump to their computers and buy in the real market or sell. Here we got only technical analysis. As you can see, there's no big spike here. So technical analysis is studying the chart and opening positions for buy or sell depending on what you see with the indicators, right? So when the ADX rises about 20%, keeps going up with a particular, in this case, negative DI, directional index, we got a sell right here from parabolic, we got sell from shaft, we got excellent sell from MACD, we got rise in the volatility. Hell yeah! Freaking start selling, and that's exactly what it is. But if the market's kind of like this, right, and there's kind of like a general decline of the MACD and the signal line, here it crossed finally the zero line. We're looking at other indicators to see if this is a good idea. Overall, we can put support and resistance levels. Actually, let's do that. Just wait, not Ray. I don't really like the Ray. I like the trend line. There we go. All right, so we have several several points where we could have attributed to. There we go. We got actually a relatively decent resistance level right here that still hasn't been breached. So we had 1, 2, kind of 3. So both of these levels are confirmed. We could say that, right? We could say that both of these, I would actually say that this one is more so. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4. So this is really good, actually. But we also need to understand that so far a very long term negative trend is meeting a possible upward trend, right? So look, it's been going down from, there we go, from let's say 2:30 my time 2:30, and right now it's 16:03. So for 2.5, or no, for an hour and a half, it's been going down. But, right, establishing new lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. But from about, okay, so if we got, literally 1600 right now, so let's say about half an hour, a little bit less than half an hour, it's been going up. It's establishing new higher lows. But so far we only have 2-point contact, so we can't really be too certain. This is not yet rooted, even with a 2-point contact. So if it continues to go down, we're going to be lowering this level, and it could actually be lowered beyond the horizontal point, or a little bit of an incline. So right now we're still bearish dominant with regards to euro dollar. There's absolutely nothing here that shows that there's going to be, on the contrary, it actually shows that the next, candles, they have higher likelihood of being red. All right, so there we go, crossing of the MACD. It's going below the zero line. We got the ADX rising to 22. Negative directional index is going, you know what, let's take a position. Negative directional index is going up. We got the volatility that's also going up, ATR. So based on technical analysis, we're still doing the multiplier of 1.5, which actually let me, get my sheet open. There we go. All right, and yeah, if anybody's got any questions, wait a second, we got $2. Let's go down again. All right, so the negative DI is going sideways a little bit. Volatility dropped a bit, but everything else is still kind of pointing up. It's going to be kind of like iffy. Remember, nothing will go down linearly, right? It will go down in waves. And yeah, if anybody's got any questions, comments, concerns, all right, next one is going to be $3. All right, so yeah, when I said about the waves, right? So imagine this, kind of move. It kind of does expect a little bit of a pullback before continuing to go down as well. So we're still going to be doing our technical 92%. It's really good, but it's kind of makes me a little bit concerned that it's not. All right, we lost that one. Let's continue. I'm still going to continue to sell. Next position is going to be 750. Let me actually move my sheet over here where I can see it. And I'm not cursing, so don't don't think that. All right, 750 is the third step martingale. And yeah, did I move the? No, yeah, I did move, right? Okay, so there we go. Till the end. So in 20 whatever seconds, it's going to finish. Well, let's see, either lower or higher. My entry point was a little bit skewed. Sometimes it's not as fast. All right, we got a first green bar from MACD. We got we got shaft already below, so it could. This is something that could face that point, a second point contact that I was saying. It could actually go higher. All right, see, we got a fractal that says go up. You know what? Let's go up. Let's go up. Fractal is usually kind of like an early signal that it should go up. We got absolutely no confirmation other than the second. Oh, okay, and it changed right now. All right, so not a big deal. As I mentioned, we got like freaking awesome profitability today. So we could actually extend and go into the fourth step martingale, which I usually don't like to do. I would much rather stop at third in loss because I can lose again 1, 2, 3, first 3 steps of martingale, and that would only equal the fourth step martingale. So I could actually lose 6 times in a row before reaching the fourth step martingale if I followed through. All right, so see, parabolic is still pointing down. 2 green candles. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see what the market says. All right. So far we still got, I would say indecisiveness. See, we got a green bar here but the volatility keeps dropping, so the candles are not going to be as big. They're going to be a bit smaller. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait on this, right? And we're going to take next minute expiration. And see, so we still got ADX still rising, right? We started somewhere here where it was like around 22%, so it's still rising with a negative DI. There was a sell dominant kind of like a sell, possibility, but if it pushes up a little bit further, we could have everything shift. We got ADX line, as you can see, it kind of started to round out. So I wouldn't really be, too surprised if this starts to bounce away and continue to go up. If it does go up, it's got actually potential to go up to this level, right? Because it's been a very decent 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times. So about 4 times it touched this level without breaking it. And yeah, I would say we're very close, right? At the end of this candle, there we go. At the end of this candle, we should definitely see that, well, a signal. If it's not going to happen now, see right now, they're in euro dollar pocket option clients are selling this still. We got kind of like a horizontal, right? I wouldn't say that this is an incline, right? So this downward trend is meeting support level that's horizontal. So once again, it seems like it's being pressured, pushed into popping on the bottom side or on the top. Still not known. But let's wait just a little bit, because in a couple of minutes we should get a continuous, another signal from, well, let's say the market, right? The graph, the chart, what would be more likely. We got 3 green bars in MACD. As I mentioned, I do believe that it should be popping upwards a little bit because it's been going down for a while. If it breaks this level, what's the next level of interest? It's going to be somewhere here, right? Because right there, because of these, because of this point of resistance, right? There we go. We didn't break this particular level right here. So we're still looking, and this actually could be like a confirm. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. You know what? Yeah, let's make sure that it's visible. There we go. All right, so we got 1, I would say kind of like 1. We could stretch the truth a little bit. I wouldn't say that this is the right thing to do. We got 1, we got 2, we got possible 3 as a point of support, right? So I would actually still say that this is 1, this is 2, because it does need to travel a little bit to kind of hit this up again. Volatility is dropping. It's kind of, I would say that it's in the middle, right? So it's not really going to be huge candles or small. If anybody's still watching, and if there's some of the things that I say is, confusing or not quite clear, ask a question right now. I'm still hopping back and forth between chats, and I'd love to, clarify any of these kind of things, to you guys. But I'm so glad that Kryptonite, you just made my day, bro. I mean, I'm so happy that, what we discussed yesterday, you've managed to take advantage of today. All right, so 4 green bars, but you can see there's not really, volatility is still not there to, volatility is still not there. Kryptonite's still good, my boy. All right, 1 second. Need to answer somewhere. Hold on. Okay, I have to answer. There's actually a message from my from kindergarten. Kind of have to answer. Sorry, guys. All right, but this is where we got a possibility. Look, see, we got negative index going lower, and yeah, negative index is going lower right here, so ADX is dropping. So I'm looking at, I'm kind of thinking that this particular crossing, there we go. You know what? Let's open for this position, right? I'm a little, man, I should have entered a bit sooner. All right, let's go for higher. And next position, the 5th step is $46 freaking dollars, right? 46.88. I still believe that there is a very high potential for an upward movement. I'm going to wait a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, so it still seems, oh man, I would hate for this to be like one of those things where it changes parabolic for just a second, right? We still, yeah, but it does happen. You know what? So, do I want to go higher with the 4688? You know, it's because we made some decent money today, right? You know what? Let's do it. All right, because we made some decent money today, let's do it. But this is really not. Oh man, parabolic switch to the top. All right, and we got the, we got the red one. So we got the switch here. All right, so no, we're gonna finish our losses at this 48, but 48, because essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna lose about $100 right now, right? So yeah, 20, let's say 20, 25, 30, 30 plus 47, 48, 47 bucks. Yeah, I'm not gonna push it any further. Though again, I mean, what is the likelihood that this is gonna go? You know what? Let's do our usual thing, where we pick a few currencies, and let's analyze some of these higher payouts. Because yeah, this is disappointing. We had like one bar for a sell, but you know what? I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to do it, but I kind of want to open another sell position right now. It seems like ADX again is rising. It's 28 with the negative DI. This could be, if this is like 1, 2, and we kind of could say like 3, and it's breaking on the 4th, technically, chances are that it could be considered like a breakout strategy. But this is not something that I think I'm willing to, this is not something that I'm willing to risk. 70 bucks is a lot easier to get back than $70 is a lot easier to get back than like 100, and I think next one would have been 190, right? $78 would have been a lot. It's a loss right now. All right, so let's go. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go back. Okay, let's go back and let's do a little bit more aggressive trading. All right, so all right, anybody can tell me why I went for a sell here? What do we got? I mean, all right, Cryptonaut still good. Okay, welcome, buddy. If anybody's in the chat right now, why did I sell right now? And next position should be essentially, I'm going to take a bit more aggressive stance on on the next few trades. We're going to start with a $10. Hold on, let me adjust my, there we go. And we're going to use multiplier of 2. So it's going to be 10, it's going to be 20, then it's going to be 60, then it's going to be 180. All right, so still selling. Selling why? We have a sell signal from Shaft. We have kind of, it's a mixed, it's mixed thing, right? Wait, did I just lose? Wait, I thought I opened the 20, didn't I? Oh, I didn't shift the time. All right, let me shift the time. All right, so we got one from Shaft. We got kind of like a goofy situation happening with MACD. We got a crossing. See, we got a very low ADX, which means that there is absolutely no trend to this. So we could establish a trend line, kind of going that it's kind of going downwards, right? Maybe from this point like this. So while it's below this line, it should continue to go below this line. Next one is $60. Though, if truth be told, once we get this one in the money, we're probably going to move on. There we go, 38 bucks. Okay, so we lost 78 minus 18, so we're now $60 in the red. All right, and yeah, not really sure that I want to trade USD ARS. I'm not even sure what the hell ARS is. Just because of this situation with the MACD and super low trend and pitiful volatility. So not really feeling it. All right, let's go to here. All right, we had a sell signal here with the AD, or with the MACD, here with the shaft. It's kind of, once again, saying that it should be going down. We got negative DI popping upwards, but the volatility, the inertia of this movement is absolutely pitiful at like 10, 11%. Volatility, I wouldn't say also that's sky high. So nope, not interesting in this either. All right, and this is actually the difficult part of doing this live with you guys, because I could actually go through all of the high payouts, 92%, and just say, yeah, no, not feeling it. We got a buy signal right here, but it's kind of lukewarm. All right, though we do have kind of at least movements that are pretty good. So negative DI and ADX are dancing together. MACD says that it's going to be going up. Parabolic says it's going to be going up. Volatility, I would say that it's somewhere in the middle. It's not high nor low, so the candle should be decent size. Yeah, I mean, we could probably stick around here. What I am seeing, though, is a possible breakout strategy that is taking effect right now, right? So it was, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 6th, it broke through, so I would say that it is prone to be going up, though after this big candle, I would expect that there to be a pullback at least a little bit before continuing. Alright, so we usually understand that there are some moments where the asset could peak, right? So last time it found resistance was here, right? So it came back up, boom, it then bounced away. If we take a look in somewhat recent past, we can say that this was something similar over here. So if it's going to be going up, at some point it meets a bit of resistance, and maybe there's enough momentum, but though ADX is not showing that. So I'm, still inclined to think that it's not going to go up beyond this point for a while, right? So even though everything else is still showing that it should be going up, volatility is rising, parabolic is here. On this candle, we had a buy signal from fractal. I tend to, we could, wait a second, where were we? Yeah, we won, so we should be going back to $10. Let's load up the next candle, or the next expiration candle, right? 50 seconds, there we go. All right, so if there is a bit of momentum, and if it breaches this, what's the next level that it's going to go up to? I would say somewhere here, maybe, right? So from here, maybe a little bit higher, maybe to this point. If it breaks through here from this side, let's make it a little thicker. There we go. All right, so let's see. Still, ADX is the one thing that's not really getting me any kind of, not getting me excited to open the position right now. And I think that, yeah, we should be in the next expiration already for waiting. While we're waiting, let's see if we're going to see anything. Sideways movement, boom, boom, boom. Kind of a downward movement from a resistance level, recent past, right? There it is. Look how beautiful that is. And we also have an upward movement somewhere similar, right? Somewhat, actually right here. There we go. 1, 2, 3. On the fourth one, it broke through. 1, 2, 3. So it is going down. I would have been selling here as well. We had a confirmation from, sell from MACD. Volatility is pitiful though, so the candles might be should be, kind of on the small side, which also kind of dictates that this particular trend might be running out of steam. So if that's the case, we could also put a resistance level like this. So this one is actually no longer valid. I just wanted to kind of show this as 1, 2, 3, and the fourth point it breaks through, and it continues down for a while. If you look at any other indicators, we got a rise in ADX with a negative DI. So we could consider that this is going to go down for a bit more. Notice 1 point contact went low, came sideways. That's a 2 point contact. Came low, went sideways. That's a 3 point contact. It would have been better if it was like, down and then back and then down and then back over a bit longer period of time. But we're looking at pitiful volatility. So let's go back to OMR CNY. And let's see what we got here. Okay, so again, right, so there's this resistance level. This is no longer an active, a beautiful resistance, but it's no longer valid. So we can remove it. And there we go. So if it's going to be breaking, if it's going to be, let's see if this is with ADX, the volatility is rising. Again, let's load up the proper expiration. So what do you get? Okay, next time, right? Next minute. Let's open. I actually did this, my opinion, I did this way too late. So because of the size of these three candles, I do believe that at some point it should be retracing. So, and where is that retracement level? Is it here? Right? We got the most recent one somewhere, right? We've breached this point. Where's the next one? Next one maybe is here, right? To kind of try to go back up. It didn't, bounced away. So let's just be aware that after this candle, after this, I do expect a red one. I do expect a bit of a retracement if it's not going to happen within this turn. If I entered exactly at the beginning of the candle, I would have been in a better position right now. But we go into the next expiration. And, yep, I'm going to wait a little bit afterwards, because if it dips in right now below our entry point, which looks like it's going to do, if we're going to win, we're going to win. No, we didn't do anything. We didn't lose or win. You know what? I'm still going to open for a buy. As I mentioned, I am expecting a bit of a pullback, but when I'm looking and I'm seeing ADX finally breaching that 20%. We got MACD line, that's the green one. It's actually crossing. See, when they cross the zero line together, it also is another kind of additional signal. So there are crossovers, but there's also crossing of the zero line. So we are, kind of seeing a very, prominent possibility that this trend is going to continue to go even further. So I'm going to increase the angle of this momentum. There we go. See, it should be going up, but it's very aggressive that seriously? It's very aggressive that it keeps going up. All right, let's switch over. There we go. We lost this. Entered for a 20 for a continuation. We've got a red bar, which makes me a little bit concerned. Next one is for 60 and the following minute. Alright, chats are still quiet. You guys are still here perhaps, but maybe just quietly looking at the graph with me. So if you guys want to clarify things, door is open. Let's do this. Let's make sure that you guys are making money. And probably, alright, as I mentioned, we could take a look at other currencies. So we got a sell signal here from ruble, but look at this once again. There's no momentum, dirt low volatility, and that's what you get. Not really trading with something like this. Let's see, Euro JPY. We just got a sell signal across the board, but it's not something that I would expect to be going down for a while. So yeah, there could be a red candle. But, alright, and we lost here, right? Yeah. Wait a second, 60, and for this, actually open the position here for 60 for a next minute. Yeah, not good. Alright, still thinking that this is going to go up. We got the potential, the volatility is dropping though a bit. So let's just be aware of that. Next one is 180 for this. And let's stick it out. Let's stick it out here because I am kind of curious if it reaches this level and is going to bounce back. This particular growth is very aggressive, right? Look how long it took to go from this level downward, and look how quickly it went from here up. All right, so this is something that we could. Oh, I opened this one for a minute plus as well. Damn it. All right, it should have been. See, there we go. This is where splitting my attention between assets is not really, or between multiple things that I'm doing at once is not a good idea. Alright, so Krypton, my man, you and I are gonna talk again in Telegram after. Alright, so it looks like this one should be in the money. This one though is not, right? 60, and this one's gonna go to 120 as a second step martingale, and I am gonna open a retracement on the following position. I'm actually gonna open it now. Alright, so there we go. This one is gonna be in the money. Come on, one sec. There we go. By the skin of the teeth, man, I freaking hate these kind of wins. Alright, so we're back. This one is... Alright, what the hell is this one? This one, MACD, weird thing. I mean, honestly, I jumped in at probably a horrible situation. Okay, let's move to the proper money management. We had 60 as the first, 120. Next one is 360 here. Alright, so 360. Maybe we could put on our big boy pants and see what we got. Euro JPY, right? Not feeling this. This situation right here is really awful. We got the, shaft is still also all over the place. If we're gonna win by the skin of our teeth. I don't like these kind of wins. So no, I'm gonna see if I can find something better. No, Euro JPY didn't really do anything for me. Neither is CHF JPY. Look, we got like MACD, really just going sideways for eternity. It's actually not really bad as a potential point of entry, right? Because at some point it did do this, and ooh, this is beautiful. You could have made crap load of money here in this movement, but now it's going sideways, so I'm not really certain, what to expect. But it's just been going, the longer it spends on the sideways movement, the higher likelihood that when there is going to be a movement upwards, that it also could be significantly, right? It could be significant. If it goes up, I would say if it goes up, this is the first point of interest. This is the second one. So you can see that's actually a big, range for lots and lots of candles to be going up. So maybe it's, it's not a bad thing. I would love for this to go down a little bit more, maybe just a bit. And then once it kind of builds up momentum and continues, look, we got kind of a closure of the mouth, almost kind of like in an alligator when that indicator shows the longer the mouth is closed, the better the potential for an upward move, or, for any movement there is. All right, so let's see. We got a sell signal. Once again, not the ideal situation. We got less than 20. We got volatility somewhere in the middle, I would say, but somewhere middle low. We got a buy signal from, okay, so sell signal from Fractal a little bit sooner. And we got a buy signal still for a while, but this is a negative. See, trend is your friend. Trend is your friend, and what the hell is the trend? The trend is negative right now. Look how beautiful that is. So if we get a crossing, there is a crossing. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's put on our big boy pants. But on this one, I'm probably going to be calling it quits. So win or lose on this one, we're still a couple of $1,000 in profit. And based on technical analysis, we had a sell signal, we got a sell signal, we got a bounce back, we got a sell signal, we got DI going up. We even got ADX kind of starting to level off and go upwards a little bit, pointing upwards. The volatility is still the same, but I really wouldn't expect a massive candle. But it seems like, based on the signal-wise, we should be good. All right, we should be good. All right, CHF JPY, yeah, as I mentioned, not really, I would love to, watch this a little bit longer. And at least, kind of make a notation. CHF JPY, watch this a little bit longer and see at what point the indicators are going to start showing that it's a good time to enter a position. Did we make money here or did we lose it? We made it. All right, so we're in the profit overall, my dear friends. So on this note, I'm going to call it quits for now. Chats are open. Leave a comment. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. This is something that's going to help our team and myself to make sure that we keep delivering wonderful content to you guys. Maybe to touch base on the points that you find more interesting. So touch base in the comments, in Telegram channel. Sign up to Pocket. It's a great freaking platform. You can make risk-free money with the tournaments. I've shown you how to do that. And if there's any kind of questions, please reach out. Once again, I'm going to be very happy to talk this through to you. So once again, I'll see you tomorrow for some technical analysis. Oh, by the way, let's just mention it right now because it's going to be at a bit different time than usual. It's going to be, yeah, a bit earlier. This is going to be actually at 12 o'clock my time. So today we started at 3 o'clock and 20 minutes. So 3 hours and 20 minutes back. From today, we're going to continue to do some technical analysis. We're going to learn how to do or how to utilize CCI, Commodity Channel Index. Thanks again, my dear friends. I'll see you tomorrow.